the George building collapse, a perfect storm of errors, the Grommy Awards, and do your homework.
My name is Bomber Webb.
And I'm Christopher Olsen.
And you're about to listen to...
This week in Sedgefield.
I was told something very interesting just yesterday morning.
Were you?
And I think you heard it as well, that apparently in Afrikaans, a podcast is a kettle gooi.
Yes.
Paint me
A
skeptical.
kettle gooi.
A kettle gooi. I love the name and I'll use it.
Yeah. I think that someone mixed up pod with pot.
Pot.
Oh,
pot.
pot
Like
calling the kettle.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. The kettle.
And recording it and then putting it out for the masses to hear.
Throwing a kettle.
Throwing a kettle.
Yeah,
I like
kettle.
that.
Podcast, because cast, when you cast something, you throw it. Yes.
Cast it before the
Throwing
kettles.
a kettle, yes.
Yeah. Well, let's
The
gooi
pod
some kettles.
calling the kettle black. Yeah.
Swart.
Swart.
So should we gooi some kettles?
Let's gooi some kettles.
Let's gooi some kettles. Hey, that sounds good. Hey, it's edition week. The Ages come out this week. And
Yes, it did indeed. Yeah.
Nice, busy front page. I haven't picked up a physical copy. I've only had a chance to. I looked
do the
briefly.
online bit.
Yeah. I looked briefly at that because I like having it in my hand. I like how manly I look while sitting upon my chair.
Oh, good. Yes.
I don't have a good enough pipe to have that in hand.
Well, if you roll tobacco in pages of the newspaper, it works quite well.
Okay, so read a page, roll it. There we go.
Keeping builders rolling for 28 years. Yeah,
Oh, what a great top tip, hey?
absolutely.
Hey, but I liked seeing that there are a bunch of surfers on the front page. Should we start off chatting about them?
Yes,
the surf
the
team.
young surfers.
The
Now,
Grommets.
I've often, Grommets.
Hey,
Now,
the Groms.
You're a surfer, aren't you? You
I was when I was
used
fit.
to be a surfer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are they called grommets? Because grommets, I thought, were the little things you put in your ears if you've got an infection. Is that what surfers have to do?
You know what? I think it might still come from that little grom, like a little annoying thing in your ear.
Oh, maybe that's it.
I don't know.
Oh, so the surfers used to call the youngsters, yeah.
Oh, man,
little grom.
Oh, he's just a little grom. Yeah, kind of running. Oh, don't mind him. He's a grom.
Okay. Well, it's official. It's called the Sea Harvest Grommet Games.
Yeah.
2025 took place March the 22nd to the 23rd at Muizenberg in Cape Town.
Oh, I've had my favorite surf. My favorite surf of all time I had in Muizenberg
Really?
after a road trip where I had used all of my food money for the road trip on a surfboard repair. Just before going out, friend in George had shaped this board and I took it to him. And every other time he hadn't charged me for repairs, so I assumed he wasn't.
Oh, and he did.
And he did. He gave me a free shirt with it, which was very nice. But then I didn't have money for food all the way up to Muizenberg. So I was surviving on like a packet of chips over the past, few days.
Wow.
But my absolute favorite surf was at Muizenberg. Oh, and it was right at the end of that. And I was about to go and visit with a cousin and then go have a meal with her. And she was vegan. So it ended up being like...
a
vegan
vegetable?
mince, it was sad, but I still ate like 2 bowls of it. But in between hallucinations, those waves, it was beautiful. It was just
Good
gentle.
waves,
What
good
a great
waves.
spot!
Yeah.
I love that. So it was there.
Yeah, it was there. And look, the local side of this is the local angle, put it this way. So this is the Eden team of the Grommets. Okay, so the headline is they won it.
Woo-hoo.
They won the competition.
They won Muizenberg. They won the harvest.
Yeah, they won.
They've got a bountiful harvest. Well done.
So they won the competition. They're the champions. But the local angle is part of this team.
Yes.
Is a young lass that has been taught how to surf by our local man Slade West. So Slade West,
That's such a surfer name, isn't it?
Slade West.
Hey, Slade. Yeah.
So he in his spare time he teaches youngsters how to surf.
Oh, that's
youngsters
awesome.
who would never get the chance.
Yeah.
He's called Slowtown Surfers.
Oh,
and
I know the name. Yeah.
And he does it. It's great. And this girl is
that is fantastic.
Kind of from an underprivileged background, and she did well. She got a second place. I'm just Lydia van Rooyen.
Okay, Lydia van Rooyen.
She got second place in under 14 girls quarterfinal heat.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
so good. I mean, imagine that impact that she's
That's exactly what I was thinking. On those around her, on the man, very cool.
It's great. So and then Eden won the trophy. They won the best spirit. They won.
Really?
That's not like vodka and that. It's like
being
a spirited bunch.
It really distilled it.
And they brought it back home, and it's just so great. It really is. It's such a healthy sport.
Oh man,
because it really is good. It's a good teamwork sport.
Yeah,
it's a good introspection sport. It's a safe sport if you avoid sharks.
If you're good at avoiding those. And
yeah.
it does. Just the psychology of it, being out there, a lot of strength, a lot of being in a really wild part of nature that you're not kind of able to actually squeeze into your box. Although guys do these artificial ones, but man, out in the ocean and that is really
cool.
And
it's ever changing, and it's no two waves are the same. It's really, really good.
Beautiful. Hey, but this team, we kind of mentioned this a little bit before recording now, but it would be awesome if there just so happened to be a wealthy corporate out there, or a big company, or even individuals who could say like we've got the Pick and Pay Eagle Stars, right?
Yeah.
And we know, and that sponsorship is awesome. We'll speak a little bit about them later.
Yeah.
But if we had the something Eden,
Eden, or even.
I mean, if they're winning spirits, the Liquor City Eden, the best spirits.
I think, or just for the Slow Town Surfers to have a sort of because I know Slade West quite well, and he does all of this from the goodness of his heart. These kids don't pay. They can't afford to pay for their surf lessons. So he teaches a bit of swimming, a bit discipline, that sort of thing. So that because it's no good paddling out on a surfboard if you can't swim.
There are some guys.
I've heard some very brave guys.
Yes. I don't know why they got that.
In dangerous shark waters, those are the guys you want to surf next to.
Do you know if Slow Town Surfers? Almost missed that. Do you know if Slow Town Surfers are an NPO, like a registered one? Because then there are tax breaks, I believe, if you do sponsor.
Yeah, I don't know that they're an NPO. I don't know. I know at one stage they were linked to Masatandani.
Who is. Okay. So there is a path there.
There is a path there,
Okay, but we got to move on to some big news. And this is one that I have kind of avoided looking at, and it has to do with the George building collapse. And I've seen it popping up in news things, and I saw it on the front page. So you've done some research and you know a little bit about this. Has stuff changed because of the George building collapse?
It's very sad.
No.
It was well, I mean, you'll
Just
remember the whole
story,
thing.
yeah.
The story was very sad, and it looks like it was caused by the perfect storm of people not really doing their work properly.
I thought it might be.
Not the builders themselves.
No.
So from what... No, this is what's been reported.
Okay.
What the minister, the relevant minister spoke about when she sort of presented the investigation. I can't remember her name at the moment, but I will come to
that. We'll get that. Yeah.
So basically, it happened on May the 6th, 2024. It claimed 34 lives, injured dozens of
almost
people.
A year ago. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And they're blaming it on the regulatory lapses at the NHBRC. So in short, I mean, there's a lot more detail in the article. In short, when the NHBRC is the...
NHBRC. Jeez, well done on getting that one right. Yeah.
You're getting that. It's the National Home Builders Council, Registration Council, NHBRC. National Home Builders Registration Council. So they are the kind of the governing body that watches all this. Obviously, plans and all that have to go to them, but also to the municipality. The municipality approves plans. George Municipality, as an aside, since this article was run on Wednesday, on Thursday, they sent out a thing saying, well, we just want to let everyone know that we got the right plans and we approve them as per their merit.
But that's
So-
good to let everyone know.
Yes, because
Yeah,
I think
that is helpful.
people were eyeing them and
Yeah.
saying, did they not do their job
Yeah,
right?
who hasn't done their job?
The investigation has said the NHBRC didn't do the job properly. So it was registered with them
Yeah.
as a single-story building.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's scary.
Okay.
So
Ooh.
they actually, the NHBRC did the report, by the way. So
okay.
they are admitting,
Oh,
and
wow.
they presented it to Parliament, and they basically said there was procedural flaws in that all made the perfect storm.
Yeah.
It was registered as a single-story building.
Yes.
And then later expanded to a multi-story development without going through the technical assessment.
Oh no.
Yeah. So
Oh, no. Yeah.
and you can imagine the difference.
I would think so. Yeah.
Other than the height, the
Yeah.
foundations, all that sort of stuff.
Exactly.
Huge
It impacts
difference.
an insane amount of things. Yeah.
Yeah, from a single story to a multi-story. They say the report says that the construction began before the official enrollment was completed, so that was another breach.
Okay.
So the contractor responsible for the project was Liatel Developments, Liatel Developments.
Okay.
So they altered the scope of the building due to financial constraints. It was much cheaper
Ooh. Yeah.
to register the building with the NHBRC as a
It's a single story, but then
and then change it. But they say that decision made necessary checks and for structural engineering and compliance and material suitability, all of that sort of stuff. It's all different when you're going multi-story.
Yeah, surely.
It's all different.
No, and they obviously know that. So I mean, you've said their name kind of boldly, even spelt it out for us.
Yes, yeah.
So it's well known that it was them. Are they still around?
I'm not sure if they're still around. Yeah. So this is all according to the report that was presented to Parliament.
Yes.
So that's a good sign, is that the government took this very seriously.
Yes.
This was presented to Parliament.
Yeah, I
this
mean, it
isn't
made
like
international
little-
news.
Yeah.
So that, definitely
Yeah.
the spotlight on there. Oh, very quickly, the Minister of Human Settlements is Tembisile Similan.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. So she she was talking about it after it was presented.
Yes.
In another problem that lies with the NHBRC, so
Another
they
one.
are
This is like
some
number
of the blame.
4. Oh, yeah.
So
Okay, that's good
They
that they
say
are.
internal staff overlooked critical documentation during the enrollment process.
Wonder if they still have a job.
There was
Oy.
missing details on the engineering designs.
Oh, no.
And material specifications were not flagged or reviewed.
Oy. Toothpicks and marshmallows instead of cement.
Yeah, and these omissions enabled construction to proceed despite clear risks associated with transitioning from a single story to a multi-story
That is
structure.
a massive change, but
It's
I feel like
huge.
you do hear about that a little bit with regards to construction. That guys are like, cool, I'm putting the plans in, and by faith, it'll kind of be all right.
Yeah.
Or we'll just add on. But that is a big one. That's not like
That's
okay,
huge.
let's shift the wall like 4 centimeters.
That's it. Yeah,
That's
this
entire.
is
whoa.
huge. And well, I mean, we don't have to say imagine what would happen, because it did happen.
It did happen.
It was
Well,
a terrible time.
It could have been even worse.
Yeah, no,
it was
absolutely.
absolutely terrible,
Yeah.
absolutely shocking. But wow, if that was because it was apartments, am I right? What
Yes,
type of building
yeah.
was it? I didn't really.
Yeah, it was
follow
it was an apartment,
well.
but I mean, it wasn't occupied. There was still and
guys,
most
we're
of the-
finishing off. It was the
Yeah.
very end. It was the tail end
and
of
that
the
was
whole build.
that was also the sad thing was. Well, I suppose anybody loses a life, it's very, very sad. But the guys that were there at the time were the finishing guys. So like an
Had nothing
electrician
to do with the
brought
rest of it.
in. They were subcontractors. They weren't even working
Sure.
for the
Sure.
main construction company.
Yeah.
It's been called one of South Africa's worst construction disasters in recent history.
Yeah. fair
it goes on. Lyatel Developments was not registered with the Construction Industry Development Board.
Whoa.
And that's something that regulates contractors. So to
there
make
are
sure
so
that
many
they've got
boards.
the qualified people.
Yeah, I mean, you have the boards for all
forth.
sorts of industries and stuff, and they weren't registered. How did they get even hired for it then?
Yes, how did they get it?
Like, this
how
is,
did they get it
you said it, the
right?
perfect storm. So many parts of this
Yeah.
have just gone so wrong.
It's just so bad, yeah. So it is investigation is continuing.
Sure, even more. Okay, I think you found enough, but yes.
Yeah,
Hey,
they are taking some of the NHBRC officials. Their disciplinary action is I don't know
obviously.
whether that would
surely firing.
Well, it might be a firing thing, but exactly that. It was the perfect storm. So you can imagine that a lot of these sorts of things do get swept under the carpet.
Oh yeah, a lot of small things, but
I'm not
all of a
suggesting
sudden.
that bribery was used in this, but it is easy. It's
a lot easier.
It's such a big industry.
Corruption.
It would be very easy for someone to slip. Can you imagine someone working as a clerk,
Clark. Hello,
Clark
Clark.
Kent, who gets slipped a 50 grand thing under the table. It's going to change his life just to sign this document or do that or whatever.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it was the perfect storm.
Yeah,
I'm
so
not saying that happened at all. But what I'm saying is
that stuff does
the
happen.
balances and checks are clearly not in place that can't happen.
Yeah, no, definitely, and those sort of things can happen, which is why we all got to keep an eye out for it. And we all, man, just stop corruption. What a different world. What a different country.
Wouldn't it?
We've largely got a country that is kind of that's built into and assumed, and it's one of the things that your mind goes straight towards. So, are there very quickly? Let's just leave this as a kind of last point. Are there any kind of consequences? Are there any things changing because of this report with regards to building?
Yeah,
or should I just check the front page?
Yeah, no,
see if there's a bit more there?
basically, well, it's on page 3 actually.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
They said
right.
that they've recommended significant reforms to the NHBRC internal processes to stop things happening in future.
Yeah.
Stricter enforcement of enrollment procedures.
It's stuff that's already there. It was just overlooked. It was.
So it's basically
you know what? It was there already. It just wasn't done.
Improved technical assessments for complex projects like multi-story buildings. Yeah, so they're definitely going to pull their socks up and put more things in place. Hopefully, prevent future. Look, we as a nation, we've seen it time. I mean, this was right on our doorstep in George.
Yeah.
But there's been bridge collapses elsewhere in the country.
Yeah, and
from the wrong materials being used, other buildings going on fire because they haven't used the right materials. What do they call it? Fire retardant.
You're allowed to say it in
fire
that context.
Retardant. yeah. So
sure.
Well, let's hope the NHBRC
actually does that. Yeah. Well, one of the things that really help whenever it does come to any sort of budgeting, any sort of building, anything to do with the municipality is the public opinion and community opinion. We have, especially in our area, with so many retired people and with so many professionals just kind of swelling in and moving from the big centers.
Yes,
community opinion matters massively. We've got the budget draft. Is it MTREF? I know the midterm, the integrated development plan.
Midterm revenue and expenditure framework.
That's it. And we've got community meetings coming up for that pretty soon. That got onto the second page. And I am very interested in that because those meetings, if we are well informed, can be a lot more than just kind of shouting matches and we should have our own mayor.
Yes.
And, but what about the potholes on my street?
Yes, yeah.
That's what I
absolutely. It's our opportunity to say things, talk about things that affect us.
Yeah.
We talked about the spatial development framework, which is how Sedgefield grows.
Yeah.
The budget is obviously what they spend their money on. I'm not sure what the midterm, what did we say? Revenue.
Oh man, I can't even remember. MTRE R2D2. The R2D2.
The R2D2. The midterm revenue and expenditure framework. The budget, and the integrated development plan, which is
that's the
IDP.
one we know. Yeah, the IDP.
So they were all tabled at the like we've spoken before, on the 31st of March. Now is the time that we can have our say. We've got to go to meetings. We've got to shut. And look, the meetings, sometimes they are frustrating.
They can be.
Because the things that are said at the meetings don't always get actioned. But it is a good time to get things off your chest. It's a good time to sow some seeds in the ears of the officials. Ask questions. Quite often people do get. Yeah, like you say, what happened to the potholes on my street?
That's it, and get kind of derailed. And that's why I like how you're approaching this, and just kind of as we've been working through. We've got until, I think it's the 30th of April
this
for
month,
comments.
End of this month.
End of this month for comments. But actually taking that piece by piece, not just looking at it kind of in general and not just kind of, that, but you've started to work through kind of piece by piece. Some of the finer points.
The finer points.
And the less fine points. That you're going to be able to, and if we do that research and if we discuss, we'll be able to come with a much more informed opinion and say, hey, I noticed this over here and I know you reference it there as well. We've got a bit of homework to do is what I'm getting at.
Absolutely. And I think for me, it's frustrating at meetings when people talk about they have question time. And so
question
it's going to be a
time,
question.
Everyone gather around, come to the carpets.
Yes. and it's kind of, they make it a question by saying, is the municipality aware that? And then they go a whole lot of stuff in the past and whatever.
That's it,
which is it's great to get it off your chest, but we've got to actually talk about the future.
Yeah,
and ask
the thing that's on the
questions
table
about the budget and say, hey, why is there not enough money allocated to this?
Yeah, that's it.
Why is the plan no longer to do this? A big part of it was when in last year's budget, where the money allocated for the low cost housing,
was just
long-awaited low cost, was just shifted somewhere else.
Yeah, and
but it's back now.
Big problem.
That's apparently back.
Okay,
so
good.
That's
one of the positives then.
Let's quickly say the Sedgefield Town Hall. So for Ward 2, Sedgefield Town Hall, the date is actually the 30th of April. So, I don't know. You're going to have to get, after the meeting, quickly send your thoughts in. There's two meetings. One in...
We'll send it before and then ask questions as well. I think will be the strat.
Sedgefield Town Hall at 4:00. And then also Ward 2, because Karatra is also Ward 2. Karatra Community Hall at 6:30, the same day. And then,
the same day, okay.
Yeah, and then Ward 1, there's a meeting at
Island
Smutsville Community
Smutsville,
Hall. At 6:30 on the 14th of April.
Okay.
I would imagine, in my mind, I would go to
everything.
Both.
Yeah, it's
because
both.
Especially the Ward 1 one, even if you're not in Ward 1, just I would say show your face, because that's on the 14th. Then you can listen to the questions there, and
that's
then
not a bad idea.
Get better prepared for the following.
For the 30th.
The 30th.
Okay, that's going to be very good. Do you have any major points that you want to highlight from your research on the budget so far, or are you still in the thick of it?
I'm still doing the research.
Okay, cool.
I think I don't want to stick my neck out just yet. But
and so apart from the spelling,
apart from the spelling on the budget. Hopefully they've sorted that out now.
I'm sure.
But it really is, and it is a time, and it's they're not exciting meetings. I must say, but it is it's too late once it's been finalized to come back and say, oh, but why haven't you done this and why haven't you done that?
No, we do. We've got a responsibility as well to speak up and to be a part of it, as this all it has very real impact in our town.
And I have spoken to the guys from the Ratepayers Association. They take this very seriously. I said to them, can you give us some sort of feedback for this week's paper? But they'd only had the document for a couple of days, and they said, oh, no, they really want to study it, fine-tooth comb, and put a substantial report in the next edition of the paper.
And the more people we have doing that as community, and very much the srah, we cheer them on at every turn, and really appreciate them.
Because you got to have a head for these sorts of things.
Yeah, that's it. And a lot of our questions can funnel through them. I know that's true of the local spatial, the spatula plan, the LSD framework. But if we get it through over there as well. Hey, let's quickly just jump on to two last things before we're all done over
out
here.
Of town.
And the one thing is that on Sunday we had the absolute pleasure of going to Carpe Musicam, 10 years of running. Hallelujah was the theme.
Oh, wow.
I was utterly blown away, man.
Wasn't it great? It was. I really want to... they come here quite often. Mm-hmm. They always perform at the Enkia Church, and I really want to recommend... And I feel very bad because this is the first one I've been to.
Me too.
And the lovely Elsaby... who sort of coordinates it, has said to me time and time, because we always put the story and the advert in our paper, and which we don't charge them for. So she's always been so gracious in offering us free tickets. But cool. It's always like, it's a Sunday, and
it's
something
difficult.
Always comes up, family, that sort of thing. So this time, well, you and I went, and blown away.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Absolutely. If you have any liking for classical music, you got to go along. And even if you don't,
music, not just classical music, because I don't put classical music like on while I'm listening in the background. I just don't listen to all sorts of others, but don't get stuck on that. But listening to their live in person, where you've got the musicians just there, you can see what they're doing, and a big choir. It was absolutely phenomenal.
Do you know how many people were in the orchestra?
About 400. Somewhere around there.
But I don't know. 400 maybe.
Yeah, but like so many volunteers, it was absolutely phenomenal, absolutely brilliant.
It really was. Yeah, thank you.
Before we go, let's just say Eagle Stars.
Eagle Stars. They had their game. I went to watch them again on Saturday.
Yeah.
What a match! What an atmosphere!
Oh, it's such good rugby.
Such good rugby. Oh, they just got pipped.
Oh,
it was 24-22.
Pips here and pips there. That's no good. They need some grommets.
Yeah, it was. It was. They were playing the Oudtshoorn All Blacks.
Oh, you see, that's...
you never know, the All Blacks they're always going to
Exactly, they're going to come in and cause an upset.
It just wasn't the Pick and Pay Eagles' day.
Okay. But that's how it goes.
It was good rugby. It really was good rugby. What an atmosphere.
That's also rad that they've got a good competition about it. Yeah, they've got someone to continue
working. You
working.
can't win all the time. Yeah. But it was great. It was
very cool.
Well worth a watch.
Okay, we're looking forward to the next one of those. I've still got a lot to read in The Edge, but that's been great to chat about it for now.
Yes, and then I'll leave you this copy.
Oh, thank you very much.
A couple of people have said they're battling to find copies around town because they go so quickly. Yeah. We always keep a pile at the Edge itself.
Okay.
At the Edge. If anybody needs to if they've missed a copy, especially if people have been out of town, so they come back on Friday and it's all gone.
And it's all gone by then, okay, brilliant. Okay, now we'll remember that. We'll do that. Yeah. But that does it for us for this week. Please do remember to drop any comments, questions, all of that. Please do subscribe if you are keen on that. The like button if you are on YouTube.
And save electricity. Share it with a friend.
Exactly. That'll help that.
Of course.
Hey, Bomber, thanks for the chat, man.
It's been real.